Okay, so I believe this is recording, and the fifth time is a charm because I persevered. I'm trying Keynote owned by Apple. It's a weird myriad of so many licenses online. So it's a Apple product trying to use Quick Player. Anyway, I think I'm doing it appropriately, and we will see. Let me just get right into it. My name is Cliff Tom. I'm an IELTS instructor. I've been so for primarily about at least 10 years, I think. And I'm currently completing this video. I think I have a couple more educational videos. Sunday, March 27th, 2022, as this virus continues here in lovely Battambang, Cambodia. So I was watching a shout out, is what we would say, giving him credit, Mr. Michael Kinney. I'll try to put his link below if you can see my finger on YouTube. And pardon the background, I'm definitely not as slick as him, but this leads me to why I'm developing this particular beginning to speak for section 1 IELTS exam because of my good Chinese students, how to build upon sentences using conjunctions. So that leads me, after being so frustrated developing this video, that I'm going to harness Michael Kinney's expertise in terms of technology, and we are going to then work and study on internet next week. So I will upload many of those videos for my good students to review and study as well, because he's extremely knowledgeable. I am not, and the internet just dominates every facet of our life, especially while we're quarantined and we've been in lockdown, many of us, for so many months these 2 years. So, but let me move on. Hopefully it's not too humid not to click. Oh, see, I don't know how. Maybe. Yes, okay, so sorry, let me jump back. Sometimes I just think it's the humidity. So let me pull myself this way. I don't think that affects the overall video recording, so we will soon find out. Pardon me. So yes, and if I sweat a little bit, perspire, just disregard, because it's still very hot here in March 27th in Cambodia. So generally there's 8 parts of speech. And as my students know, I'm not a grammatist, and to me, I always found that boring. I believe in actually practicing or speaking and then contorting or conforming your speech into appropriateness or intellectuality and intelligibility, right? If that makes sense. And I'm not speaking Chinese. Sometimes I confuse my good Chinese students with my bad Chinese. I'm just going to speak English, because hopefully this helps everybody beginning to speak English, gets them on the right path. So, and this is going to be conjunctions again from the first slide, because and primarily. However, to go elaborate on this slide, there's generally 8 parts of speech, and there's nouns in Chinese, mingzi, there you go, using my bad Chinese here. And those are generally people, places, things, or ideas, okay? So for example, Mike owns his car, right? So Mike would be a person, a name of a person, and then his car. So it's always good to know standard English names, because those would be considered nouns. In free speech, for example, that would be an idea or a concept, okay? And then adjectives in Chinese, 字动词, right? Adjectives, something that describes nouns or pronouns. So that was an excellent film. Excellent, right? Describes the film. Colors also describes a jumper. British people generally say jumpers. Maybe we'll say sweatsuits in American English. I should say that's awful, right? We've been. Do you speak American? No, it's all from England is where it originated and where it transformed. Is happy. So happy would also be descriptive of the jumper, right? And then adverbs, exactly how they sound. That's how my English teacher reminded me of them, is specifically that a mixture of adjectives and verbs, but they're modifying verbs. And generally, they'll finish off in an ly. So she walked, Tasha man hen, or tajo hen man. Sorry, just when I told you I wasn't going to speak Chinese. There you go. Right, so she walked slowly. They are extremely poor, extremely, right? So that is just a modifying. It makes it better, worse, emphasizes it, detracts from it, etc. And then there's verbs, dunzi, in Chinese, right? And those are an expression, a physical action, or state. So, for example, the tennis great Federer plays tennis, right? The floods are serious, okay? And take your time. So are is a great word, a great verb to familiar yourself with, because so many of our speech, English speech, is predicated or is based upon are. Okay, moving forward, I think we have about 7 slides. Oh, that's it. I think I need a tap on this. There you go. Okay, yes. So let me shrink my ugly mug a little bit. Oh, I cannot. I think that's it. I wonder how I stop this. I think I just have to go to the top. So this is not as smooth. I thought this keynote was going to be smoother than doing a PPT, but maybe because I'm more familiar. I grew up with doing PPTs and keynote, Apple's keynote. So the fifth part of speech, right? It doesn't go in any particular order, but would be a preposition, right? And 1 or 2 would be prepositions, and they show the relationship between words or phrases. So let me just move myself over here. So for example, the book is on the table, right? And into the room. He went into the room. I'm against abortion, okay? I'll just leave myself there. Pronouns, right? So pronouns, these are probably one of the more challenging non-native English speaking grammar issues, I should say, and especially for Asian students, because there's no gender specific, which now in the West is great because everyone's fighting to be binary or non-gender specific. So maybe we'll adopt more Asian ways of speech, that's how speech is formulated itself anyway, but that's a history lesson, a linguistics lesson. So, for example, right, sorry, how did I get back? There you go. So, right, he, she, it, we, they, yourself, those are all pronouns. So they replace the noun with a specific individual, not a specific, but gender specific. That's hard to explain, right? Pronouns, but you get the gist. And then conjunctions of what we're talking about today and how to better your speech, and especially when it comes to the speaking part 1, and then you just build upon your English knowledge and skill set as you move on, right? And those are joining words, phrases, and clauses, okay? So he's tall and, this is what I want you to get in the habit with, because it will help you describe your answer better, right? So that's important, to be descriptive, especially, and elongate your answers, especially for the IELTS exam. Okay, and then interjections, 3 syllables, right? 英文衣服 means a syllable, 听在中文, right, in Chinese. So by syllables, so 3 syllables. Interjections, conjunctions have 3, pronouns, prepositions, 4 syllables. Okay, and these show strong emotions or feelings. So, wow, that's brilliant news. And you guys should know brilliant is great. British people generally love saying brilliant. We Americans would say great, something along those lines. And then ouch, hey. Okay, moving forward. Yes, I always like to define things. Sometimes I like to define it before I start talking about it. But here, I think the proof is in the pudding, inguentois, meaning you have to just do it and then you'll understand the meaning afterwards, right? So conjunction, also called a connective, is a word such as and because today, right? Because, but, for, if, or when, okay? And they are also used to connect phrases, clauses, and sentences between the three. So using and. So because, this is the habit I always try to get you guys into, right? Because, hui, speak, hui, and, right? The two main kinds are known as coordinating conjunctions or together or subordinating. One takes precedence. One is over the other, right? That is subordinating. Coordinating means maybe they come together. Okay, let's move on. Yes. Oh, I think I just click on it. Okay, I learned something else here about Keynote. Birthdays. So this is a generalized question on IELTS. They sometimes like to ask you about your birthday. It's a very romantic day. We all like talking about birthdays and ourselves. Some people like talking about themselves. I can either or, I think. So do you enjoy your birthdays? So, and a possible answer, yes. You could say no. But yes, I enjoy my birthdays because, right? Because it is a great time for my family and friends to get together. And, right, I always tell my students, and we all get to eat great tasting, right? Do not say delicious because that is very boring, because so many teachers or so many IELTS examiners hear that particular word so many times. So it's boring for their ear. Let's do this shot. I feel like my face isn't straight away on this video. Okay, and then right, one more. sa, 1, 2, 3. I sometimes receive interesting gifts or presents. All right, tap it. There we go. So you just tap it. I guess on this half would lead you back. Yes. Oh no. Oh. Oh well. Hold on. There you go. Let's go to the front. Oh no, you can't even see me, everybody, but that's all right. I am not getting the gist of this, but all right. But you've already seen me, so let's just talk about computers then, because we've already talked about birthdays, and I'm not going to do another video. I'll tell you that much. So computers. Do you often use a computer? Yes, I often use a computer because, right? Why do you use a computer? Because it is important for my daily life and my college studies and work, and I often keep up with daily news and information. And then another general question or generalized question would be your daily routine. The IELTS examiner, the IELTS, the country that you're going to go to, they want to know what you're doing, what you're up to, right? English slang, inguentois. So they could ask you, when do you usually get up in the morning? A possible answer, I usually get up around 8 o'clock because, right? Conjunction because I have early morning classes, and conjoining, right? I like to prepare my school, and I enjoy a good healthy breakfast, right? So this is all a logical 3 reasons or rationales as to why. Rationale, I should say, no S. Okay, so because, right, is a conjunction. It conjoins 2 or 3 ideas. Okay, so I think that's it. Why just stop it? So goodbye, Sai Jen, everybody.